Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another AB Daily News with the hockey coach, Goal Coach FRENCHY. Today, episode number 294. What your menu coach, first of all, a Montreal Canadiens prospect for trade bait during the offseason. Then we have the Montreal Canadiens prospect to prove for the upcoming season 2023 and 2024. But before we dive into talking about the subject, we want to invite you. Don't forget, please, to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave me a comment about this episode. And let's dive in talking about my first subject of the day. My first subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens prospect trade bait for the general manager can use during the offseason 2023. The first player I want to talk about, guys, is Mattias Nylander from Sweden. Nylander, 22 years old, drafted by the Montreal Canadiens a couple years ago as the third round. Never reached his full potential, unfortunately, with the Montreal Canadiens. And one of the biggest reasons is because many injuries, concussion, shoulder, knee. This is the reason why I believe now this is the time for the Montreal Canadiens could add Nylander inside of a package deal to get traded at some point in NHL. Secondly, the Montreal Canadiens have too many defensemen on the left side right now in the roster. And plus, what already they have in Laval Rocket, I feel like Nylander could be a really good prospect to get traded at some point during the offseason. Second player I want to talk about, guys, is Oliver Kapanen. What a great year Kapanen this year after he had a really difficult year last year when he played and finished Liga League professionally. This year he have 12 goals, 15 assists, 27 points over 50 games on this league. The one thing we have to remember is that Kapanen played a big role for the Team Finland at the World Junior Championship 2023 with the Team Finland. He was center number one. Obviously, for him, he did not have a great tournament whatsoever. It is the problem for Kapanen with the Montreal Canadiens is the Montreal already have a couple of prospects as a center. Example like Owen Beck. And he's going to be the max he can reach in NHL at bottom six. It could be a problem for him because we already have Jake Evans, Owen Beck, and many other centers they already have Montreal. And possible they can pick selection fifth overall, another center. So at this moment, I see Kapanen become a prospect Montreal Canadiens could be traded by the general manager can use. My third players I want to talk about is Jesse Ylönen. He's turned 24 next year. He had a good year overall with the Montreal Canadiens when he called the call up. 36 game, he has 6 goals, 10 assists for 60 points. But the problem with him is Montreal already have Anderson, Caulfield, Armia, and Gallagher as a right winger, and Ylönen is a right winger. Unfortunately for Montreal Canadiens, is a player could be on the waiver at some point. Montreal could lose him if they don't give him a spot. Do you think he should play with the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season? He shows some kind of good skill during the call-up from the Laval Rocket, but is it good enough to be on the roster for upcoming season when you already have his friend winger and this organization, Emil Henneman, Joshua Watt, Riley Kidney, Philippe Mazar, Sean Farrell? This is something Montreal could consider at some point. Ylönen inside a trade package deal during the offseason, part of the general manager can use. Here we go, guys. 3 Montreal Canadiens prospects could be traded at some point by the general manager. I'm talking about, of course, Mattias Nylander, Oliver Kapanen, and Jesse Ylönen. I would like to hear from you guys. Leave me comments. Maybe you're thinking about another players, or do you think Montreal should trade one of them or not at all? Let's dive in about my second subject of this episode 294. My second subject, guys, is about the Montreal Canadiens prospect to prove in 2023-2024. First of all, I'm going to give you 2 names at the beginning, Cayden Primeau and Jesse Ylönen. Yes, both of them are going to be on the waiver if they are returning with the Laval Rocket for the next season. And this is a big problem for the Montreal Canadiens. Primeau considered as the third goaltender right now for the Montreal Canadiens behind Montembeault and Jake Allen. Has to have a great training camp if he wants to stay with the Montreal Canadiens. Push out possible Jake Allen. Some fans would like to Jake Allen to get traded and keep Cayden Primeau. But are you the one of them? Or do you think Primeau does not have enough talent and skill to have a full-time job in NHL? On the flip side, Jesse Ylönen, we just talked about him. The problem with the Montreal Canadiens about him, the 24 years old, is going to be now on the waiver if the Montreal send him a Laval Rocket. Second round pick by the Montreal Canadiens. He showed to us a couple of great skills. I think he have a really great release, and he could become a bottom 6 Montreal Canadiens with between 10 to 15 goals during the year. Plus, he could reach 30 to 40 points per year if he really used properly by the head coach Martin Saint-Louis. So that will be very interesting what both of them are going to do for the next training camp for the Montreal Canadiens. They need to prove to the Montreal Canadiens they have to keep him for the upcoming season. Can you make some trade Jake Allen, or maybe trade Montreal Canadiens a right winger they already have in the roster to open up a spot for Jesse Allen. My two other players I want to talk about, guys, is RHP and Justin Barron. Two other players for the Montreal Canadiens need to prove to stay with the Montreal Canadiens roster for 2023-2024. Many of you think, oh, RHP is going to be fine, not problem. The key is to prove it again. He can repeat what he did, and with less of 2I. He took an opportunity to play on the top 6. Do you consider him to stay in the top 6 or play on the bottom 6? And he played on the bottom 6. He don't have the same kind of opportunity. Think about this. He was playing the power play number 1 for Montreal Canadiens. With the return of Kirby Dach, example, Josh Anderson, I don't think RHP can play the power play number 1 and could be a problem for him. We know the fans love RHP. Montreal count on him, but he needs to prove it again to stay in the lineup for the upcoming season. Secondly, Justin Barron, after a really difficult training camp, he was sent to the Laval Rocket, have a great start with the American Hockey League. It was a call-up for the Montreal Canadiens after a couple injuries for the HABS during the season. He finished strong the year with the Montreal Canadiens with a 4 goal. This is good enough start the season 2023-2024 to have that kind of possibility. He need to be sure he prove it at the training camp and to keep his spot with the Montreal Canadiens. He's a right defenseman. Montreal very light on that side, and I think that Justin Barron could become a solid defenseman with the Montreal with time. We have to be patient. The kid is only 21 years old. Finally, my last player I want to talk about, he need to prove Sakowski. A little bit controversy with him during the season. He played only 39 games with the Montreal Canadiens, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Some of you think he played under expectation. Some of you think it was fair to keep him all year long. This is the biggest problem about Sakowski. Many people think he should play in the American Hockey League. He should went to the World Junior Championship. Whatsoever happening is the past. Now he have to prove it. He deserves to stay with the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. If not, he will going to be with the Laval Rocket. In my opinion, this is going to be a really interesting training camp for Sakowski after his injury. Can he come back at 100%? And can he prove he deserves his spot with the Montreal Canadiens? That's something we have to see for the upcoming training camp. And of course, they are the player I want to talk about, the ad prospect to prove in 2023-2024 they deserve to have a spot with the Montreal. I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think Montreal should keep all the 5 players I'm talking about? And of course, this concludes, guys, all my subject I have for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We talk about the Montreal prospect trade bait, the Montreal Canadiens prospect need to prove for the upcoming season. But before we leave, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave me comments about this episode. And of course, I want to remind you, you have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, great, blessing day, everybody.